Hello and welcome to another episode of Fulham Chronicles. Hi Melinda.
Hi Zara, we're back.
We are back. We're back at Voxpod and we've got some exciting...
We have got Scott Hallsworth here with us today. Thanks for coming, Scott.
My pleasure.
Little intro. So here we go. It's quite a long list. So pan...
It's always good when we have a long list.
It is good.
I don't know.
No, we love the accolades. It's all good. So Pan Asian chef, ex-Nobu Head Chef, author, restaurateur and owner of Freak Scene here in Parsons Green, Fulham. So yeah, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, pleasure.
Well, we've heard that you are a serial podcaster, as in you've been to one to many.
Yeah, podcasts, radio,
Yeah.
anything
Okay,
behind
well...
Go easy on us newbies then.
Yeah, exactly. So we should be the ones asking and taking notes.
Yeah.
So obviously you're from Australia.
I am.
Who would have said?
Well, some people get it confused with that little country on the side of us there called New Zealand. And this is a running joke between Australians and Kiwis.
It is. My sister lives in New Zealand, so
Right.
she was
Yeah, we're
always
just discussing it.
she's always picking up with my husband. It's like, that is not a Kiwi accent, that is an Australian accent. So you obviously grew up, born and raised over in Australia, and then was it Nobu London that brought you over here, or how did it all begin?
No, not at all. I started travelling. I'm from Western Australia, so Perth being the most isolated city in the planet, on the planet. I started travelling around Australia, and then I decided to move to Canada, and then from there, I'd done a couple of stints in Asia, Singapore and Taipei, and then I ended up in Canada, then in Switzerland with a guy I'd been working with in Taipei, and I was in Zermatt for a while. Then I was in Chamonix. Naively, a friend of mine from Western Australia, we opened a Pan-Asian restaurant in Chamonix when we were in our mid-20s. I mean, talk about...
That's bold. That's amazing.
I'll tell you about taking sand to the beach.
These Australians coming over, taking our...
It was so funny. People would come up and say, what are you going to cook in there? We're going to do like Thai food and Asian stuff and that. And they're like what? I said, well, I found these rabbits down in the market, What are you going to do with rabbits? I mean, that's for stewing. I said, I'm going to make a curry. And they're like, no. I said,
you won't sit in a curry.
A curry is a kind of stew. The principle's the same.
Correct.
Anyway, it went off. It was crazy. But the reason I came to London is because that restaurant came to a head during the summer. I got a little bit quiet. We had the mountain biking season come through. And I thought, no, I'm too young to be doing my own business just yet. I need to keep on learning. You've got to go to London and have that baptism of fire, it's that requisite thing to do. So I came to London and wandered in the doors at Nobu. I'd heard of Nobu, but I sort of wandered through the front door and...
I meant to ask, have you been recruited or you actually went in and
I
you
was
went
via a recruitment company,
Okay.
but it was one of those moments, you know when you fall in love, and that was it. And I fell in love with Nobu's style, his sort of Americanized, westernized style of Japanese. And I thought, this is it for me. I don't think I'll veer away too far from this again. And I haven't.
No. So 6 years there.
7.
Wow,
Well,
7.
6 in London, and then I went and opened Nobu Melbourne. Did the launch for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, talking about this, how did you get into cooking and why cooking?
Because I'm
What was that?
not much of a guitarist. Essentially, I
What are you even doing in a studio?
I've been going into studios since I was a little kid. So my brother's one's a musician, one's a sound engineer. He's not a sound engineer anymore, but my oldest brother is still a musician. And in the 80s, he was putting out a lot of music, and I wanted to be a rock star like him. My mum was like, "No, I don't think so. You're gonna get some sort of life skills, work skills, appetite for sort of going out and getting a job at some stage." And a friend of ours owned a local hotel, and they had a Chinese restaurant and a bistro and various sort of food and beverage outlets. And she said, on Saturday mornings, instead of jamming with your band, you're going to go down there and cook in the kitchen with Ronnie. There's a Chinese chef called Ronnie. And I said, okay, cool. I'll earn some money. And she's like, no, you're going to go and learn some work ethic, and Ronnie will make you some lunch. And I was paid him sweet and sour pork and fried rice for I don't know how long, months. And then I'd go and jam with the band afterwards, but I had to go and do the work first. Yeah. And that kind of caught my eye. And I think from there, I did some work experience at the hotel that I later went on to do my apprenticeship at. And that was rock and roll to me, because all these dudes were running around with their tall hats, very disciplined clothing on, and they all knew what to do. They were putting out hundreds of covers. And I'm like, wow, how does he know where to reach next? Look at these guys. They're sweating. They're cool. They're knocking off and getting drunk. I want to be a chef.
Yeah.
I want to be a
And
part
then
of that.
I grabbed that experience, that by the horns and ran with it.
You had started so young actually working for yourself and doing your own thing, then go in, then master, then really look around, pick up on all of that, and then get to the point where you go, right, I'm doing my
ready.
own thing now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was always going to, I think. But
I think more people should have that work ethic. I think nowadays that is completely out of the scene. But yeah.
Properly learn your skills and get
You
a
have to,
solid foundation.
I don't think Instagram can teach you that much.
No.
It can teach you a little bit, but that's the issue we've got now with the generations coming through into the kitchen. They want to have the weekends off, the nights off, take photos with their friends and smile at the food. None of that works. Hospitality is tough.
It's one of the questions I was going to ask you with that sort of whole next gen, that they, let's not do them dirty, but they let that whole work-life balance. And exactly, I mean, do you find it really hard to get hold of staff nowadays, that they're coming into it with the right reason, or they have no clue?
Yeah, it's really hard. I mean, I was talking to someone the other day about this. I said at Nobu, I'd have piles of CVs and I could just about set fire to them every month. And I'd have another pile. Then I'd have people asking to work for free, stagiaires. Stagiaires go to learning places because they want the experience and they want to say, I worked at Nobu for X amount of months, couldn't get a job there, but I did 3 months there. And people go, oh, did you? This is Nobu was the advent of modern Japanese restaurants. Now they're a dime a dozen.
Exactly.
And the godfather was this old guy, and people used to go to places like that and cut their teeth there, or if they couldn't get a job there, because, we only had so many jobs, you'd ask to work for free and then you'd become a stagiaire.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen anymore.
What would you tell your younger self, or something that you have done but you would want this generation to know and be more onto it?
Yeah, I think I say to my kids, youth is wasted on the young, that old adage. And it's take advantage of things now, because as you get older, and especially as you know in hospitality, it's a physical job and it's long hours. So it's a young man's game. Do the hard graft now and maybe take your foot off the gas a little bit later on if you can. I mean, I can't at the moment, but I happen to actually love what I do.
Yes.
I absolutely love it. But if you didn't happen to love it, this would be a horrible position to be in.
Just what I told
Do the
you.
hard graft younger and
exactly.
then enjoy reap the rewards if you can a little later on.
And just be loving something that you know.
Yeah. Well, what do they say? If you do what you love, it doesn't feel like work. And I
That's
think
exactly it.
weekends, holidays.
I don't. I remember the first few years. I don't remember holidays. I'm sure I had to take them. I would have been forced to take them. I worked for a hotel company, which would have been quite structured. But no recollection of Friday nights off. In fact, Friday nights for me was working till I think we finished a little bit earlier. And back in WA, it might have been 11. You might have been out of the kitchen, but they'd sneak me into the bar and give me a beer, and that was my night out. And then I'd go home and get up and do it again.
Start it all
That
over
was
again.
fine though. I mean, you just get used to it. If you think that your life is meant to be going out on a Friday night, then you'll struggle with that mentally, right? Manage your expectations.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So going back then to the beginnings of Freak Scene. So that was...
Yes, I'm excited to know about Freak Scene.
Yeah. So I actually went up the road to Parsons Green on Tuesday, purely for research purposes, of course. And I'm a
Market
Thai
research.
I'm a Thai task, so I did
Thai
Thai
task
task Tuesday. I
Okay.
did Thai task Tuesday.
Great.
So and it was incredible. I mean, I have to say, I loved just all the different flavors and the colors. It really was a treat. It was sort of, I don't know, I think I was just in one of those moods where I turned up and I was like, right, I'm going to do this. It's research I want to see. You've been open for years, shocking. You kept saying, come in, and I never made it in. So, and just we really went with it, and all these different bowls of gorgeousness kind of arriving.
Oh,
so
thank you. That's very good
That's
way
what
to
I
say
keep
it.
saying.
No, it was, honestly, it was a really, really lovely experience. So the beginning, 2017, Clerkenwell, pop-up.
Yeah, it was a pop-up. I just lost Kurabuta, the company. I had a fraudulent partner. That's no secret. And a lot of money went missing out of the company, and which caused the company to go bust. That was my little baby, and it was pretty tough. And I was sitting there in my flat in Balham with my dad was over from Australia at the time. And he said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "Cook food, sell food." I mean, it's as simple as that. It's
Carry on.
Yeah, exactly.
And within 2 weeks, I'd come up with this idea, and he said, "Look, because I lost a lot. I'd lost financially. I was in a bad position as well." And he said, "I'll lend you the money for this, and we'll get up and running." And what are you going to call it? And I said, "I've had some ideas, but I love the name Freak Scene." And he goes, "No."
I want
That's
to
what
know.
Zara was saying to me earlier.
So obviously your dad had the same
Reaction.
reaction as I did.
But I think, and there's a couple of reasons. I like that the name comes from a song, which comes from a movement, a sort of hippie movement in California, in I don't know which era, probably the 60s, the freak scene. But it became a song, and that's how I know it, by a 90s band.
Can we hear the song for me? You come from an
We'll have to
artistic...
dig it
I
out
can play
later.
the guitar if you got a guitar.
We don't have a guitar. You can use your voice. Let's do it.
No, I'm not going to
2
sing
seconds.
it. I wouldn't do it
Come
justice.
on, please.
Freaks can't believe it.
Brilliant.
I got it.
Something like that. But
Here we
anyway, the
are.
band's called Dinosaur Jr. They're a great 90s
here we
guitar
are.
band, and I'm a fan. But the other reason is this, that just about everyone that followed on from the Nobu days, you can call them copycats, or it just happened naturally, happened to have a 2-syllable,
Happens to
4-letter
the
name.
best only to be copied.
Oh, okay.
Think about it. Like, you got Itsu, Rocca, Zuma.
Yes.
It goes on and on and on. You go to the Middle East and it's even worse. It's like a sea plague full of 4-letter words floating around. And I thought, you don't have to name it by law, your restaurant with 4 letters. Come on.
Let's think of something different.
Can I say something? Every single restaurant that's, within the same cuisine, they all say ex Nobu chef X works here. Ex Nobu chef has put the the menu together. Ex Nobu chef is a guest. So it always goes back to Nobu.
Yeah, I mean, he's the godfather of this stuff,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Let's face it. I mean, he's, whether your preference is Zuma or Nobu, I mean, they're the two at the top of the tree that vie for position, but they're friends, those guys. And but just Nobu's the old man. He's the godfather of it. And
Let's not talk about
Respect.
Zuma and Nobu. Let's talk about Freak Scene.
Freak Scene.
Yes. Now you got me to the song.
So,
gotta listen to it.
Yeah.
So started as pop-up, so it's Shoreditch, Soho.
Sorry, Clerkenwell.
Sorry, Clerkenwell,
Yeah.
Soho.
Yeah.
And then Parsons Green has been open for a year now. So
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you.
First year
Congrats.
anniversary.
Yeah, thank you.
It's whizzed by.
That's a big
Yes.
achievement. Tell me, what is your favorite dish in the menu?
Ooh, well, probably the cabbage or the mush or the shiitake mushroom.
Hipsi cabbage.
Hispi.
Yeah.
So
Is it hispi or hipsi?
Hispi.
No,
Hispi, yes.
Hispi
Yeah.
cabbage.
It's a. I mean, everyone sort of does a hispi cabbage these days, I suppose. But I started playing around with that. Actually, probably started playing around with
Linda,
that.
how is it? What does
It's
it have?
very
Is it good?
good,
Yeah.
very good.
Not to keep going on about Nobu, but he is a stager. He went through a phase where he wanted to put pizza ovens in his new restaurants.
No.
Yeah.
wow.
I rocked up in Melbourne and he had a pizza oven. I'm like, what does he expect us to do here? And we come up with tons of dishes, tons of amazing dishes that all
You could put in the pizza.
yeah,
oven.
caramelized
I love
miso and soy based and teriyaki based in the oven. And we put a lot of veggie stuff in there. That's when I started playing around with that sort of stuff. But then in Soho, we had a robata grill and I was grilling them and putting the dried miso, the truffle, the bernoisette and the ponzu together. They are like the best group of friends that you can't separate. That sort of combination works on other seafood or whatever you like, really. But it works particularly well on that cabbage. And I think that's probably my favourite dish.
Well, I can't wait to try it.
Yeah,
Maybe
no.
you can take me there for my birthday next week.
And if you you have to be extra nice to me.
Yes.
So if you wanted to say to people, obviously we know it's sort of all Asian influence and it's punk Asian, which I
No,
That was
we
one of my
know.
partners, Adam's. I think
yeah,
you
we should
covered
talk.
that.
We should talk about Adam a bit.
I met Adam at the Royal Flying Doctors event here in London. So the Royal Flying Doctors are the outback doctor service in Australia that fly to people who don't have hospital services or medical service. So they're not just for emergencies, but also for clinics and stuff. They fly into the middle of the outback. There's no other way that they can get medical treatment. And there's a charity based over here that the King is a patron of. The RFDS, and Adam donates his time to go on stage and calls the auction, but he goes up and compares the thing every year, the
whole
ball.
thing,
And I was invited
Impressive.
to, actually it was quite funny because I thought this isn't going to work out well, but I was invited to put up a prize for Freak Scene, say you go to someone's house and cook for 6 people and they'll auction that off. And anyway, they put me in the book, the prospectus kind of thing at the table, and my partner at the time and she was looking through it going, look at all these big names. What if you get up there and no one knows who you are? I'm like,
Thanks.
I hadn't thought about that. Oh my God. And then calling the auction was Jeffrey Archer. So Jeffrey Archer.
God.
So he gets me up on stage and boy, does he do a job. Like he starts going, you're going to do it for 8 people, aren't you? Not just 6. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm getting into here. I can't say, no, I'm on stage with Jeffrey Archer.
Yeah.
And then he starts getting the crowd going, come on, you're going to do this. He's going to do this for you and he's going to make that. And I'm like, oh my God, what's he wondering what I end up doing here. And what ended up happening was he raised for my meal, which ended up being for 8 people, £10,000 for the RSDS.
But you couldn't say no, could you?
Wow.
I couldn't say no, but that was the highest prize for the whole evening. So all these other celebs and names and beautiful things are in this book.
Yeah.
And then Adam comes over and goes, who are you? Kind of thing. Check your number in here. I need to come to your restaurant.
Why are people paying 10 grand for you? What's happening?
Where have we met? You know, so we just sort
But
of.
how amazing is that? Did it make you feel like you're on top of the universe?
Yeah, I was, people were coming up afterwards and going, have you got a card? Yeah, come to the restaurant. And it was kind of
amazing.
It did put Freak Scene in the limelight for, you know, in that big ballroom that night. And we certainly we achieved, you know, sort of some long-standing customers out of that as well. So
then from Adam's Who Are You, then how did he get involved? You just became friends?
Yeah,
and then...
he used to come in for dinner all the time. I'd bring people from the show, from, you know, The Last Leg.
Yeah.
And we got to know each other and
because I want to know why Fulham.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
That's what he's good there.
That's an easy one because Kurobuta, the two main Kurobutas, one was on King's Road and another one near Marble Arch, and we had 2 others, one with Mandarin Oriental and one at Harvey Nicks. But the database, or, you know, the sort of database, I suppose, of people that followed Kurobuta was based largely around Fulham, Chelsea, because King's Road, you know. Yeah. Yep. So that made sense. And it was an agreeable rent and the timing was right. And then, as Adam would say, I did a pop-up two summers ago called Double Dragon, and Adam...
I love these names.
I know, they're great.
It's nothing boring with you, Scott.
No. Yeah. Well, that's too
great.
short. Sunset restaurant, you know, this kind of stuff. It's just like,
that's why I was so excited to do it.
Sunset yawn, yeah.
So, we did Double Dragon, and Adam and his wife Ali came in, and I said, hey, man, I'm putting this plan together. I'm going to bring Freak Scene back. I know you're a fan of Freak Scene. He's going, that'd be awesome, cool. So I'm just putting that out there to the potential investors, not expecting Adam to buy it at all or have any interest in that. I just told him because I knew he used to love coming into Freak Scene. Yeah. And then he was on his way home and Ali said to him, hey, you're a huge fan of Freak Scene. You got some money sitting there. Why don't you invest? And Adam's like, right. So he basically said, hey, do you want to catch up for dinner next week? I said, yeah, righty.
I'm not going to say anything, but that woman, well done.
Yeah, no, we have a lot to thank her for. Absolutely. Yeah. And then, as Adam puts it, he said, I took Scott out and proposed to him. And he said, yes.
Here we are, food for life. Free food for life.
It's a great relationship. Adam's a great guy to be involved with, and brings a lot of people in from, you know, like I said, from the show. Yeah. Other really cool people, you know, musicians who, you know, I'm a fan of and things like that. Fantastic. But yeah, he's a great supporter of Freak Scene, and that's a great partner to have.
Yeah. So it's a great partnership, and
definitely is.
Yeah. So if you had to say to Fulham locals who haven't been, how would you sum up what they can expect?
You know, sometimes people say, what is Freak Scene? And I end up rambling on and then confuse the hell out of everyone. I say,
come on, you must have your elevator pitch down now,
Would you like to come to Freak Scene, or was that a tattoo shop?
Yeah, exactly. Because it could be.
It could be
a shirt shop. It could be anything. Yeah. But I know, it's like, I say it's a bit Japanese, a bit Southeast Asian. So it's very Australian in the sense that, you know, the type of hospitality we try to put across is natural. We want to put across a natural hospitality. The music's a little bit louder. The drinks are flowing.
Amazing.
You know, it's just, we're having fun with Oriental food.
Yeah.
We really are. We used to have a strapline. It was, what was it? Curious Asian Plates. Because there's nothing super traditional about it. You know, there's bits and pieces borrowed from different Oriental, cuisines. Yeah. And I think we just have a little bit of fun with it, give them a little spin. Tuna sashimi pizza, you know, and things like that.
Any celebrities?
Yeah.
Oh, right, come on.
Are you talking about just in Freak Scene?
Yes, in Freak Scene. Yeah. Any celebrities that left their mark like Melinda did? Without Melinda, I know she
secretly.
Quite the most famous one we had, I think, in the first Kurobuta, because Kurobuta started as a pop-up as well. Yeah. On the King's Road. And everyone used to come in and take photos of Adele's signature on there. Because we did her birthday. We did a private party. I got a phone call from her once, and not that I knew.
Who are you?
That was kind of it.
Who are you?
I was transiting, and because we had a Kurobuta restaurant with Mandarin in Bodrum in Turkey. I was transiting in Istanbul, rushing to get my plane. Phone call comes up. Yeah, hello. Hi, is that Scott? Yep. Thinking, you know, it's probably a vegetable supplier or something. You know? Couldn't really figure it out. Yeah, it's Adele. Yep, cool. the singer, hey!
Oh, hello from the other side.
Yeah, and then the song was born.
Yeah.
Got no royalties.
It was you, Scott. We knew it.
I know. Yeah, we did a birthday, and so people would come in and take photos of that.
I took photo of the Love Heart Fulham, and there's someone who I thought, how cute.
Nice.
Yeah, brilliant.
Should we talk about the covers? So how many covers have you got? And then my question would be, are you still working at Frick's Inn?
Yeah.
So you're still in the kitchen or not as much?
I am at the moment full time. Covers wise, I think we got about 40 odd in this restaurant.
Oh, okay.
36, 38. It depends how you configure the restaurant, but
of course.
maximum would be about 40. And at the,
because you've also, sorry to interrupt, because you've also got, you've just opened another branch.
Oh, yes.
So in January in Balham on your home turf.
Yes, my home turf.
That's an easy one to nip into.
It's an easy one to nip into, but I find myself over here a lot more.
I don't want to hear
recently.
that. That's your preference.
No, this is our little baby. I end up here a lot more at the moment. I'm full time in the kitchen until the end of the month. We've got a new chef starting in here in Parsons Green. But it's a good opportunity. You've got to do it once in a while. You've got to go in and recalibrate things. You know, no matter how good the recipes are or how good you can train people. I mean, chefs get creative and it'll get, step by step, it'll just be going a little bit off.
It's a bit like Chinese whispers.
It's exactly what it is. Totally. That's not that's a sweet potato now.
Yes. It's a vegetable.
Yeah, it's a vegetable, chef. Yeah, that's likely to happen. So so I'm spending a lot of time in there. I'm adding a lot of new fun things to the menu, to be honest.
Any glimpse of?
It's good. It's good, isn't it? If you've got your menu, but it gets boring. Like I cook, obviously at home, it gets boring after. You want to do something.
She just compared herself with you.
No, I'm not comparing myself to you by any means at all. But I can imagine it's cooking and creating. It's creative, so you want to do something different. You want to do the same things all the time.
And the customers don't eat the same things all the time.
That's also what I was about to say. If I've been in and I've been a tight ass and had my menu on a Tuesday, I of course want to go back because it's delicious, but I would like something different on there maybe next time. And what's the difference between Parsons Green and Balham? Because it's got a slightly different name, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we just took to kind of, we extended the name a little bit, calling it Sushi and Grill because it's focused mainly around Sushi and Grill. This one here, we've never done sushi at Freaks Inn because I just don't think we've got the skill level and the space, and it's expensive to produce sushi labour-wise. So, and some of the ingredients if you want to do it properly. So, but we have the scope to do that in Balham, thankfully.
So this is a slightly bigger space, isn't it?
It's a bigger space, yeah. There's
it's quite
more covers.
bijou. Like I love it, but it's quite a bijou space in there.
So it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. It's under the same person, right? Because it's yours, but it's two different offerings.
Yeah, and but then saying that, the cabbage, of course, we can't take that off the menu, so that's going to be both.
It's going to be the bestseller, guys, after this episode.
And there's a few other things. Yeah, I've got to stock up on it now. I call Adele and let her know we need to buy more.
So slightly different and
slightly same but different,
Yeah.
But,
I'm trying to
so how's it been going? Because it was literally January.
It went off in January. It's funny how you use that term. You got to be careful. We had a pasta supplier once in Australia, and we said that we need more pasta on Friday. It's been going off, and the guy he was Italian goes, "It goes off." And I'm no, mate, it's popular. It hasn't. Yeah, things are fine over there in terms of our freshness.
Yeah,
don't worry.
It is very popular.
Yeah,
I'd say Balham's been great actually.
Oh, good.
Great.
When I ask you why the name and why Fulham, I think is your audience. And if Balham's audience, it needed, like the high street, for example, needed a sushi and a steak, fair enough, so be it.
It did, yeah. And that's kind of why I did it. When my kids are in town, they sort of like, where we're going to eat, and we never eat in Balham anymore. And I thought, hang on, they love sushi, they love the grill side of things. Now we can't get a seat in there, but
jokes on you.
That didn't work.
Let's open a restaurant I can never dine in.
We are going to open another little thing there as well, though. But that's not because the restaurant. I mean, we could use more seats in the restaurant, but we need more space for drinkers because we got people queuing up, and then people wanting to spend a bit more time on the table, and we don't have anywhere to sort of say, hey, can we give you a drink in the bar or anything like that? But there's a little store going out of business down the road. It's a takeaway store, and we're going to turned that into a bar called Casual Leopard later in the year.
That's a great name. I actually really miss a great bar.
Yes.
That's a great name. I was reminiscing with somebody the other day about places that used to be around here. We were going Crocodile Tears. There was a bar around here called Crocodile. So that and Leopard Lounge, that's right. It was a nightclub. It was a nightclub that was around here. So that's a great name. I'm too young to know. Great. Great name.
No, but I know Melinda's been craving, for a new cocktail place, and I think that Fulham needs that.
Yeah, bring one here, please. So talking about the future, what else?
Yes.
Bars, what's next? Is the plan then to just keep rolling Freak Scene out, or are you going, no, we've done Fulham, we've got Fulham, Balham, is there a next one? Or
I think
it is.
Yeah, I mean, I took a lot of influence from the Nobu days, of course, because they were scaling at a rate. And in fact, I don't even know how they did it because they didn't have any structure. I mean, they had very little structure. We were going around doing things in winter pop-ups like San Moritz or Mykonos and things like that. I remember best example is getting to Melbourne, after being with the company 6 years and going, okay, what's the menu going to be? I'm the head chef out here. I'm going to start sourcing things and. Oh, well, menu. What did you do in London again? Because, I'm talking to the guys from America who are coming out to Australia to do this. Oh, well, it's this. Oh, yeah, do that menu. Throw a few specials in. Yeah, that's the menu. Is that it? So there's no structure. It was crazy. And they rocketed off.
Because it just exploded. So they're just trying to almost keep up at that point because there's no strategy. It's just, it's as you say,
sometimes
it's kicking
chaos
off.
Brings, I keep saying this, and I know it's a generational thing, and I've got... My mother's always telling me, but in my bedroom, in my mess, if I close my eyes, I can tell you under the 5th, 6th pile where you can find the X thing. Yeah. And it's exactly the same where it's passion involved, right? People call it nowadays something else, right? They put a stamp on. But in chaos, you can find, and Nobu's an example.
Yeah.
And even in the kitchen, when you might have felt that feeling, right? When... these ingredients with that ingredients, and you can actually taste and say, I would have never thought. What a fantastic thing I just discovered, and that's your stamp on.
Yeah, that happens absolutely a lot. But anyway, Freak Scene should the plan is to scale. We've had some conversations with people in Ibiza. I have 2 other partners who live part-time out there, and there's some opportunities with a very famous brand out there and another very famous person, which we can't really talk about at the moment. But I think it'll happen eventually. We might do some very small pop-up this year, but at the same time, we'd be looking at doing a summer residency out there as a 2025. And then there's 2 other sites in London which we're looking at the moment. And that, again, one of them is an extension of Freak Scene. It's not like a carbon copy of Freak Scene Fulham. It's going to be Freak Scene something else. I've got a great idea for it.
But that's quite good though. And it's this way, like you said, you took Freak Scene, but you realised Sushi Grill, and then you can have, you've got the essence of the brand.
Yeah.
But then you can add to it as to where the gap, like what's not working here in this area, which is great to cater to.
Yeah, exactly. It gives it great because there's you can't do it all in one little spot. We're looking at a couple of sites in London, and the next thing should be another extension of Freak Scene. So it'll be you're in Freak Scene, but it won't be the same menu. Similar, there might be some similar flavors and sauces. We'll probably always do our Singapore chili crab wontons.
Yeah. So an on the spot question. So Zara, is it your turn to go?
Right. So, if you were to tell us what Freak Scene is all about in a very powerful sentence, what would it be?
Good question. I don't know. Adam's better at this one than me. I think it's like a punk rock Asian food, punk rock Asian restaurant, punk rock Asian.
That's great. I've never heard that. I think I'm satisfied with that answer.
We're a lot of punk nuances, I suppose. So, yeah.
But now we know. I think it's so great for people that don't know what Freak Scene is all about too. It comes from a song, and is there for it.
Yeah, it's punk rock Asian.
Melinda, are you ready for yours?
Mine was, what's your real absolute cooking? Hate's a strong word, I know, guys, but yeah. What's your or kind of like the worst meal you've ever had culinary experience you've had? Don't have to name and shame anyone.
That's a good one.
God. Jeez, I don't know.
Or a dish that you just go, that maybe you came over to the UK and you were like, really?
What did I even put in a meal?
Yeah.
Or like jellied eels.
Oh. Have you eaten them?
Yeah. They're not great. I mean, I like eel, and I like the way Japanese people prepare it, and I learned to prepare it.
I would never.
So you think jellied eel is just
I mean, that's the first thing that came to mind. I don't know if I've got anything that I really hate at all, but I stopped eating meat a long time ago. So, and I tasted it up until recently. It's part of my job in a way, but it now tastes so different that it's not nice.
Really? So your taste buds have changed that much towards meat?
Your taste buds regenerate every 10 days, right? Mm-hmm. When you're born, you have two two types, and that's the taste sweet and umami. Because in nature, you wouldn't need to go out and taste for bitter things you had to be cautious about or anything like that. In nature, you'd be breast milk fed, and breast milk contains the compounds umami and sweet, and you grow the others as you get older. And then as you get older as well, the sweet ones become less and more bitter ones grow in their place. And hence why babies can't eat bitter food at all, and older people don't mind it, actually quite like it because they've got more receptors for it. So how did we get onto that?
Yeah, exactly.
That's wow. That's
I only know because of the wine, the sommelier.
Yeah,
because they teach you, how you don't, whatever, smoking and
meats,
whatever.
Yeah, the meats.
Oh, meat, yeah.
So you just change. Wow.
Just decided not to eat it anymore. And I thought it was also I needed a challenge as a chef. I mean, I saw some bad practices in that industry. The meat industry, that was part of it. Yeah, no, I do taste it, and I have other guys who have been with me long enough to know. I can see texture, and I just think being in the kitchen for that long, I've got a fairly decent idea of how it's going to shape up now.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Well, on that note,
I think we've got everything that we wanted to cover. So guys, I think Freak Scene is the scene you have to be on.
All right.
And
get on that Asian punk roller coaster ride and enjoy it, because I definitely did. It was great, and I'll definitely be coming back. So.
Well, I'm back on the 26th.
Yeah.
FYI.
Okay. Hint.
Yeah. Just what type of cocktails have you got?
Oh, which ones don't we have?
Oh, I love
it's the shops that you got to watch out for. They got such naughty names. We're probably not allowed to say them.
Did you drink?
Yeah. Yes. No. One I made me roar up laughing when I saw that one on the menu. I was like, we can't say it. Yeah.
Was it the bedraggled cat?
No,
that was
the tropical F storm. That's actually a name after a band as well.
Oh, did you make the menu? Did you put names on, or
well,
you have
some of the dishes, not all. Cocktails, not all of them.
Have you got a signature?
Probably the Green Bastard.
Green Bastard.
That's from Kurabuta days, and that's named after a character out of a Canadian TV show called Trailer Park Boys. There's a guy with an alter ego, and he's a wrestler called the Green Bastard. And someone came to us. It was funny. There's a young Spanish dude who was a temp in the bar, and he made this cocktail with melon liqueur, like Suntory melon liqueur. And he goes, "I want to call it a Japanese morning." I'm like, "Shut up! That's terrible, Green Bastard!" And then it stuck, and everyone. They didn't know what was in it. They just thought it was a funny name. I'll have a Green Bastard, and that is actually how we sell it.
It's so catchy.
That's brilliant. I can't wait to see the cocktail list at the
I can't wait to have a Green Bastard.
Definitely coming. But thank you so much,
thank
Scott.
you so
it's been
much
really
for coming.
great talking to you.
You're welcome.
And we'll just wrap things up, and we have to say thank you. We have an official sponsor on board as well. So this episode is being bought by Archie Pango. So thank you, and also to VoxPod, who are also our sponsors, of course, in this fantastic studio space. So thanks for tuning in.
That's a wrap.
Don't forget, whatever channel you're listening on, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, there are other channels available. Then make sure you hit the subscribe button. We appreciate your support.
Yes, please, guys. Thank you so much, Scott.
Scott, that was a ride.
Pleasure.
That was such
fun.
I
can't wait to go now.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Thank you.